Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'll go over how I'm seeing Bitcoin at the moment and then walk through a few altcoins I'm personally watching for over a month now. So I will start with the Bitcoin first and then I'll go over Sui, Sol, Fate, ADA and DOGE. I'm not here to give any financial advice, just sharing my thought process and how I'm reading the market based on the current price action. So let's start with the Bitcoin, and I'm going to start from the monthly and then weekly followed by daily. Well, I'm not gonna go beyond below that because I'm taking this as a very swing perspective, kind of long term. So that's not relevant if I go on the 4 hour because I'm just reacting from the high time frames. On the monthly, if we look at the Bitcoin, if we zoom out a little bit, we were in this bullish run. So we had this recent breakup structure. Now price is pulling back into this demand range. Well, we have not tapped into it yet, but based on this candle, we know that there is significant pressure last month, right? And if we look on the weekly chart, I think it's more obvious that we got the breakup structure. We pulled back very correctively after such an impulsive move. It was very complex price action. And now after we swept this liquidity, we got this strong V-shaped move, showing that bullish pressure is kicking in. You see the difference here. The bulls were very weak at this point, right? Now with this type of bullish nature, it really signals that there is a big money stepped in, and now we have a confirmation, at least at the moment, that probably we can see for the leg to run the highs. Or we may see another push down much deeper into this zone, which is monthly zone, because we haven't tapped it yet, and the reverse. Well, that remains to be seen, but from the recent price action, what I can confidently say is, like, I'm happy to invest from this area, right? Also, the daily really looks interesting. We had this very corrective pullback. We had this daily breakup structure, which was this is strong, and after, as soon as we got the breakup structure, we did not follow through. That means as soon as we got the breakup structure, we immediately pushed up, showing bullish pressure. And the fact that it's already been mitigated, see if we can look here, this demand was mitigated, this demand was mitigated, and now we have this demand. But after the initial trend change from bears to the bulls, price won't pull back much deeper into the zone now, because the objective has been completed of the pullback. Now it's the impulsive leg. So when it's impulsive leg like this, it often does not pull back much, but rather it will be just a small pullback. We can see on the lower time frame, and then it just goes. For example, if we look here on the previous cycle, you see how the big of the impulsive was, and the correction was very corrective. And now when everything was aligned, it just doesn't pull back. See, it doesn't pull back, it just goes. So that's what I'm saying personally on the Bitcoin at the moment. And going over Sui is interesting. It has already started its move. From the monthly perspective, we know that this was the recent breakup structure. We pulled back into this monthly zone, which is really clean. On the Bitcoin, we have not tapped, but on the Sui, we have tapped already into the zone, and with showing that upward bullish pressure. The last monthly candle looks really interesting. If we go on the weekly perspective, we have come into this refined zone. We have swept the liquidities over there, and we have strongly reacted from the bulls, and we have created this fresh new demand. So expectation is to run the highs now, and how it will run the highs, we do not know yet. We do have this demand. I don't know if it's going to pull back into this demand before another leg, but normally once it shows that bullish pressure, it doesn't often pull back, it just goes. For example, here as well, say when we created that impulsive move, it didn't pull back. Another example will be here. You see how price was, we pulled back, right? We swept the liquidity. We've had the change of character. We created this fresh demand. In this case, it did, and then went. But when it went, it didn't give a pullback. See, it's very tiny pullback, which we can see only on the lower time frames. And on the daily perspective, this is really interesting as well. We got this recent bullish breakup structure. As soon as we got the bearish breakup structure, we immediately retraced and led to the convincing breakup structure to the highs. There is not much going on in this area for a deeper pullback unless we sweep these liquidities from this supply, and then probably we can see the reaction. But how big the reaction will be, we do not know because of such an impulsive nature of the price action, and everything's mitigated, so it's time for an impulsive move to run the highs. That's sweet. And let's go over Solana. Solana looks really interesting as well. If we go on a monthly time frame, where this was a very impulsive move, we had this just strong low that led to the break of the highs, even the all-time highs, and now we had this unrefined demand. What the price action did was we pull up, push up, pull back, push up. We swept this major sell side liquidities into this demand, and now we're swaying the bullish pressure. Same with other coins. And on the weekly perspective, as soon as we got the break of structure right there, we got the shift. That means we have now created fresh demand. Let's see if price comes back into this demand and then go, or maybe not. Since we have some kind of value supply within here, we may pull back a little bit, because on SUI we had very impulsive move, but on SOL it's still corrective. It may come back into this demand probably here and then go. We do not know that yet, but the confirmation is there already. It has the bullish structure has switched. The structure has switched bullish. Now expectation is to follow through to run the highs, or maybe not, right? Since we are coming with this impulsiveness, what if this is the pullback up to this supply premium and then roll over? But at least we have lots of room to go to the upside if we get in early in the market. That's the SOL from my perspective. And let's look on Fate. AI coin, this is really interesting. All right, let's go. If we look on the monthly time frame, what do we have? This was the breakup structure, created very impulsive move to the upside, push down. Since we never had that inducement, we swept this whole demand, which is really interesting. As soon as we swept, we got the retrace and showing the bullish pressure. So the tricky part on the Fed is when we came up to this whole range, we have created some impulsive bearish range. It feels like this is the impulsive leg with the correction and then impulse. So we don't know if this is the correction to mitigate some of this monthly supply within here and then roll over to the downside to mitigate much deeper into the zone, or if this is the impulsive move to run the highs. We do not know that yet, so that remains to be seen. Going over the quickly on the weekly time frame, let's go on this time frame like that. So what I was saying on the monthly was we had this impulsive move and we had this very corrective pullback. We had this impulsive move. We don't know if this pullback will be corrective to push for another leg. So if price creates like this similar pattern which were printed here, this is a little bit different because we can't assume that this kind of move will lead to break of the highs, because it's not an impulsive move, because we are already coming from the bearish impulsive move. Since this is corrective, this may be another correction to push the price down to run the high, to run the lows. But if the price action is printing like that, showing bullish pressure kicking in, then we can assume that probably this is the impulsive move for this whole range to push the price up to these highs, to run the highs, because of the nature of the price action. So it depends how price action comes, delivers into this zone. If we pull back correctively, yeah, we can expect for another leg down. But if we commit like impulsive move with less than 3-4 months, then probably we can expect, if we see this kind of price action, probably it's just to run the highs or maybe these highs. Let's see, it remains to be seen. And yeah, from the daily perspective, it's pretty simple as well. We got this shift, we don't have anything left. My primary expectation is to run the highs first before getting any reaction to the pullback, and we do not know if it's going to pull back all the way to the down because it has traveled very far. So probably we'll come back into this one of the zone after we swept this buy sell liquidities into this zone, and then probably we go ahead for this monthly supply. So yeah, Fed looks really nice as well. And let's go over DOGE. DOGE is a bit different because on all the other coins that we discussed earlier, we had this breakup structure, but on the DOGE we do not have it yet. But this is an interesting price action on the weekly time frame that I will discuss. Going on the monthly time frame on the DOGE, I really like the highs that were never swept with this high. So we have this perfect equal highs to target in the long run, which makes it really interesting. And then we had this breakup structure, so we have been pretty impulsive in the DOGE, and it only took 2 months to come into this near the highs, and then it reversed. That means we have this impulsive move followed by correction, impulsive move, corrective pullback into this extreme where we expect it to hold because it led to the breakup structure. We created such an impulsive move to the upside. Also, if we look on the prior times, we had this recent breakup structure, we pulled back into this demand and created such an impulsive move. So we are repeating the same stuffs now. So we had this created, this demand has created this whole demand range because it led to the breakup structure, and now we pull back all the way to the discount, all the way to the extreme, and now we are expecting this move. So if this move is going to run the highs or probably just here and then roll over, we do not know that yet because we still have this monthly supply if we look from here, but still we can still capture these moves, right? This is like more than 50%, and if we are showing like this big candle, probably it's to run the highs or near the highs, or if it pulls back correctively, then yeah, probably we can see another leg, but that remains to be seen. For now, I'm favoring buys on DOGE, and this is the early indication for us to capitalize on this impulsive move. I think from the daily it's a bit weak, we haven't had that breakup structure, but if we look on the weekly time frame here, what do we have is we reached this extreme demand, we swept the sell side liquidity, and this was the weekly supply that was in control. If we look in this price action, what happened was we broke low, we pulled back, we failed to follow through the down, but instead what happened was we reacted, demand took over and then failed. That means the initial reaction has failed, where this is an early indication price may run the highs. So this is a little bit aggressive, but it's not confirmed. With the other coins moving to the upside, creating moves, I think this is a bit delayed, but yeah, I'm expecting this move up to this supply at least, or to run the highs from the monthly. That's the DOGE, and the last that I want to discuss was ETA. From the technical perspective, it's not that clean. We never had that clear swing in price and clear breakup structure giving us this strong, but monthly looks very interesting. So we had this massive fall, right? After that, from 2023, from here we created this massive push up breaking the highs, we reached to the demand, made this another push up, now we are approaching into this demand. I don't know if we're gonna pull back here, but based on the price action, we are already in the discount, and we, after such an impulsive move, we are pulling back correctively, and it looks like after we're sweeping these lows, it wants to go to run the highs, especially with this kind of buy side liquidities. And we have actually a lot of room for further upside to capitalize on ourselves, right? Because this big reaction happened after we took out this significant buy side liquidities. So I'm expecting at least to run the highs. We do not know when it's gonna happen but based on the price action, we already come into this discount. If we start accumulating, yeah, probably I'm expecting this high to get run because of the corrective nature of these highs. This is much cleaner on the weekly time frame. If I quickly go, yeah, see, we got the breakup structure. It was very impulsive, pulled back very correctively. We had this lots of sell side liquidities stacked below. On April 7th, this is the April 7th, so we swept all these sell side liquidities, and as soon as we swept into this unmitigated, we haven't tapped, but after we swept this sell side liquidities, we have this kind of aggressive move by the bulls, if you can see. Well, it's not confirmed until we get that shift rather, and then probably we can expect to buy a little bit more from here. But for now, yeah, we are still trading within the supply because of the area where we are coming from, and after sweeping all these sell side liquidities below that where it's stacked, and with these corrective highs, I think it's most probably we're just gonna go and run the highs at least, or probably mitigate somewhere within here. So I don't know when that's gonna happen, but I think we are still in the discount to squeeze more profits from the other. Yeah, daily is not really clean, but I really like the fact that we had these sales of liquidities. Even here we swept, and as soon as we swept we had this impulsive nature, and now I can see higher lows and higher highs creating. So let's see if we can follow through like this up to the supply, and then we'll reassess how the price action will looks like. Yeah, that's how I'm seeing the crypto at the moment. Really interesting price action last month and recent this couple of times. So this is interesting. Yeah, so that's how things are looking to me right now. Bitcoin still feels like the leader because if it looks like it's committing to the upside. So if it commits, I think some of these altcoins could follow with the strong moves. I do have the other ones as well on my watch list, but I just went over this one for now. Again, this is not the financial advice. I'm just documenting my outlook and what I'm seeing as a trader. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you find this helpful, feel free to like, subscribe for more updates like this, and yeah, catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.